Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing my review of the English dub episode 2 of RWBY Ice Queendom. And so in this episode, we did have, it was basically mostly like it was in the first episode, recapping. But it did show some new stuff in here, but not as much. So the episode starts off with basically everybody meeting each other in the plane. That's basically what most of the focus was of them both, everyone getting to know each other. They did the whole thing with, Blake and Yang and RWBY, like, meeting up, and then they showed Weiss in there. Weiss was all tough because she's like, well, that's all, because Yang and RWBY had heard rumors that it wasn't true, or that, the Sneeves had been really bad to Faunus, and basically, Weiss is, like, denying that. Blake didn't like this, obviously, because Blake, knows that's not true. And then Blake, says, well, this is not true, and whatnot. Weiss then runs into Pura, and Pura is like, everyone knows who Pura is, basically. And Weiss wants to team up with her because, like, she's all good and, like, perfect and whatnot. Show her cereal again, and whatnot. They show Jean, who tries, because John had overheard that Weiss was into him, which wasn't true. He was just, like, she was being sarcastic with RWBY. And so he was trying to hit on her. Pura ends up liking her because he's like, oh, I don't know who she is. Because everyone pretty much knows who Pura is. And she just doesn't like that. He didn't even know who she was and didn't like the cereal. And Pura's like, oh, I don't even really like the cereal either. I just do it because they asked me to do it. So, yeah, that's kind of how they interact. There was brief moments with Ren and Nora, but not really. There wasn't really that much with them. Then after they get off the plane, they basically start up the test. Osmond reveals who their partners would be based on them, first, whoever was first, meeting with one another. And also, again, is the whole eye contact rule. And I don't think they really explained this that well in this compared to the original. But again, if we go by contact, then like eye contact, then John should have been on Team RWBY. But again, they're very vague on that rule. Nonetheless, Weiss and RWBY are like, they run into each other first, so they're partners. And they have fights, like, trying to figure out one another, and RWBY saying, like, oh, yeah, I can do this, and, Weiss is just, like, pissed at her and whatnot, and doesn't think she's that good, shows her speed, and, whatnot. This is after, of course, they've been shot out to start the test. Yang and Blake meet up with each other, and, Ren and Nora meet up with each other, and John and Pura meet up with each other. As a matter of fact, Pura actually, kind of saved John from crashing. They basically do what they did in the original episode, or the original RWBY, and, work together. They take out the Grims. They eventually make it to the end where the chess pieces are. Kind of have a little thing with Nora with the rook, but they don't really spend that much time with it. There's a little kind of, it's, again, this episode felt really rushed. It kind of like they just kind of wanted to brush it around, because again, it is a recap episode. You have to have watched the original RWBY to really get this episode, because again, they don't really explain anything. They expect you to watch the original to kind of know how the Lord works. And that could be good or bad, depending on how you decipher this episode. They show Osbin, and he's talking to a new character, Shion, and I was like, he's not been there before. But nonetheless, he was, and he kind of helped out Jean and whatnot. And they eventually beat the Grims. They all do. They showed that little cool combination with, what's it called? Weiss. With where RWBY says, we got to work together. We got to do this. And she goes up the Weiss's attack, and basically uses her scythe and claws and decapitates the Grimm's head to death. Yes. Again, very confusing on how they deciphered the teams, because they don't really kind of say eye contact or anything, which eye contact wouldn't have worked anyways, because technically Weiss seen John. So, yeah, there's really no way of enforcing that rule. Also, another thing, he's like, Weiss is like, almost the end, it was like, oh, I knew you were perfect. And I'm like, but you were like ragging her the whole episode about how she's like kind of, is younger than everybody else because she got to come to Beacon a year earlier or whatever. Yeah, kind of all over the place. End of the episode, they obviously do their whole thing at the ceremony, how there's Team RWBY and Team Jean, or Juniper. Team RWBY and Team Juniper, and Juniper's the leader, and John's the leader of Juniper, and Ruby Rose is the leader of RWBY. And obviously Weiss isn't happy that you can tell from her, disdain that she feels like she should be the leader. But, nonetheless, that doesn't happen. And an interesting note, at the end of the episode, Weiss has like a crack type thing in her neck, which they distinctly show, which that was also not in the original. So there's something to point out as well. Just kind of things out there, that was pretty much the episode. That was the emphasis of the episode. The episode was just kind of just straightforward. They kind of rushed, stuff. And again, if you know the show, pretty much know. Theme song was okay. Not as good as the original theme song. But, they unfortunately are, using... I mean, they did use an English person to, I guess, do the theme song, but it just doesn't have the same feel as RWBY. With Casey and Jeff, who did who composed and did all the theme songs. And I still don't know why they couldn't get them, because, like, literally, they're in-house Rooster Teeth people. So, I mean, it shouldn't have been that hard to coordinate that with with the people at Warner Brothers in Japan. Then again, we don't know exactly how much Warner Brothers Japan is controlled by the Warner Brothers over here, because obviously the Warner Brothers over here in America is shit, and I'm assuming that the Warner Brothers over in Japan are just as bad right now because of it. So that's not much to write up about. Nonetheless, what are my opinions on this episode? Too rushed. Again, they kind of just go right into it and don't really give us any reason to why we should be interested in these versions of the characters, because they haven't really done anything that really distinguishes anything different from before, and as a matter of fact, they've again gone quick on it. So we don't see any of the stuff with Yang, like, we don't see any of that, Yang didn't really have any backstory in episode 1. Like I said, they didn't show her origins, from her trailer compared to the other characters who even got a little more time. So I don't know. And then these other characters haven't gotten anything yet. I mean, we just introduced Jennifer, Team Jennifer. But again, I came out of this. Nora didn't really do that much. Ren didn't do anything, really, in this episode. We didn't really see anything from him. So, I don't know, guys, where we're at. It probably will pick up, but, I don't know. I guess, really, after episode 3, we'll start really probably getting it more, because then it will be a little better, probably. Because they'll go into their own direction or whatever compared to the original version. But right now, it's just kind of iffy right now, so we'll see. But yeah, guys, this is the review. Again, short and sweet. I am very curious to see where they go next with this. But especially since they got a new character in there, hopefully we'll get some more new characters. I'm assuming we're gonna get more new characters since this is a different version. But we'll see what happens. That's about it. Comment, rate, if you like this video, my videos, please subscribe. Hit that bell for all the latest content. And yeah, guys, that's about it. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of it. Peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, I do have a Twitch, an Instagram, and a Discord for all my other stuff that I do. My Discord server, again, fictional media we cover. And, come hang out on that in the Discord, and we can discuss live-action movies, anime, cartoons, all that stuff. But make sure to follow Twitch and Instagram as well. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. So, yeah. Out. Peace.